It's Sunday the 31st of October. I got the other figures in for over 12s and total population. The nation at 90% are approved will be allowed in if they're fully vaxxed on the 5th of November. I don't know if that, because people are going to be coming into New South Wales from overseas, so I don't know if it's got something to do with that, but you have to be, I think you have to be fully vaxxed to come back into Australia anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. But anyway, if you want to come into Australia from a high risk or low risk place and you're approved, you have to be fully vaxxed. And that comes into effect on the 5th of November. So, total population percentage is 61.1%, I've rounded it up. Over 12-year-old group is 71.9. The official national average is double dose 77.2, single dose 88.2. And my state's average, where you add up the percentages double dose for all the states and divide by 8, is actually 74%. So we're getting our Australian nationals back coming in tomorrow on the 1st of November, and we're going to be at my national average below 75%. Their national average probably about 77.5%. So not exactly 80%, is it? But I think that's why Scott Morrison put the brakes on it, because New South Wales were rushing things. The rest of the state isn't ready to have people coming from overseas, international travel. Not ready for that. So he said, no, it's just going to be, Scott Morrison said, we're only going to let Australian nationals back in. So, to get back, if Australian nationals come back to Australia, into New South Wales, and I think also the ACT and Victoria, to get into the other states, for WA you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, either there at New South Wales or when you come into WA. You have to be approved to come in. You have to go through the G2G pass approval phase, and you have to be doubly vaccinated. So it is possible to get back in to all the states, but for the non-COVID states, there'll probably be some restrictions until they reach 80% fully vaccinated as well. But South Australia, I have a hard date of the 23rd of November. They want to be at 80% over 12s fully vaccinated. They have a 7-day quarantine if you're coming in from overseas and you're fully vaccinated at 80%. I have a 18th of December international travel for South Australia. The international travel hasn't been announced as yet, but I'm predicting it's going to be before the 23rd of December. And I'm predicting that international travel will be triggered when the official state average is at 90%. Although they might jump the gun and make it 80%, which is going to make it a lot sooner, in which case it could be around the 30th of November, early December mark. So, was it Queensland had 17th of December for interstate travellers, I think. Australian nationals, there'll be less restrictions. So I think they're all waiting for the 80% and 90% double vaccinated in the non-COVID areas where there's no outbreaks, because they want to keep it outbreak free as long as they possibly can. But there's an urgency about it, and anybody who is thinking of getting vaccinated and have just been putting it off, not getting around to it, those people need to go and get vaccinated now. People who are a bit hesitant, a bit concerned, they need to speak to a health professional to discuss their concerns, and they'll maybe provide you with all the answers to the questions that you have. Because getting COVID could have you have a higher risk of ending up in hospital when you get COVID. You have a higher risk of getting blood clots, a higher risk of heart inflammation if you get COVID than if you go for the vaccine. Plus, the chances of you getting any of those problems with these vaccines is 1 in 50,000, which they say is about the 1 in 100,000, 1 in 50,000 is the usual amount of side effects that they come up with when they do new flu vaccines and other approved drugs that come onto the market. They all have side effects, and you just get warned about those side effects, and then you make an informed decision from there. But this vaccine has been given to enough people for them to have a pretty good idea that it's safe-ish, for most people. If you're allergic to some of the ingredients, then you probably shouldn't take the vaccine. But I'm thinking if you're allergic, you might have a very bad outcome with COVID as well, because those ingredients are part of, you're probably going to have a bad reaction to COVID, only worse. So if there's a treatment for allergic reaction, I'd be looking into that as well. And it depends on what the allergy is. I mean, if it could be life-threatening and there's no treatment for it, then yeah, you're gonna have to, that's gonna make things difficult. If you really wanted to be vaccinated and you can't because you're allergic to the ingredients of the vaccine, then you'd probably be looking at a different vaccine where you're not allergic to the ingredients. I think the Chinese vaccine